Hello and welcome to week 36 of the Country Garden Crochet Along. And this week we're going to make our next 2 rounds of our outer border, and it's a nice easy week and it's just 2 rounds of double crochet. So how are we doing it?
Okay, so this week is a nice easy week, and we're essentially repeating week 34 as we're going to do 2 rounds of double crochet. Okay, so to begin we're going to make a chain 1, and then we're going to make a double crochet chain into the same stitch that you slip stitched into last week. Okay, so that's so the slip stitch we stitched into last week was the first stitch of last week's, which went into that second corner stitch. Okay, so all we're going to do is make a double crochet in every stitch around, making 2 double crochet in your second corner stitches. And that is it really for this week. The only thing you have to be careful of is when you get to your butterflies and making sure you've got the right number of stitches. Okay, so just be careful checking where your stitches are and that you're not going into a slip stitch or a join. So it's a bit of a state, but between each butterfly wing you're going to have 2 double crochet. So just make sure you're going into those 2 stitches, one here, one here. Okay, and then it's every other stitch up should be fine. There's just a few too many joins back there. But don't get too bogged down with your stitch count. As long as your blanket sits flat, then don't worry about it, as from here on in your stitch count isn't that important. It's just whether your blanket sits flat. So I wouldn't stress too much about an extra stitch sneaking in or losing a stitch, as we're just doing like single count stitches. There's no counts involved from here on in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and finish this round. So just a double crochet in every stitch, making 2 double crochet in the second corner stitch. I shall go ahead and finish that, and I shall see you when I get back to the beginning of the round. Okay, so I got back round to the beginning, and my final double crochet is going to be in the same stitch that we started in, right in there. And then you're just going to slip stitch into that first stitch. Okay, so now we're going to do another round, and we're going to repeat this round. So we're just going to do another round of double crochet in every stitch. Okay, so start with a chain 1 and your double crochet chain. Oops. And then just double crochet in every stitch around. When you reach the corners, you're going to make 2 double crochet in the second corner stitch, but otherwise it's just 1 double crochet in every stitch again. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this round, and I shall come back when I come back to the beginning. Okay, so I've got back to the beginning of the round, and my last stitch is going to be made into the same stitch as my starting chain. And I'll just do a last double crochet in there, and then slip stitch into my first stitch. So the last stitch creates the 2 double crochet in 1 stitch. And that is it for this week. So we're not going to weave in our butterfly ends this week. We're going to save that for next week. So we've still got all those ends to weave in. But next week is our final week, and we'll complete the final round just to edge it all off and weave in our ends to complete everything. So bye for now, and I shall see you next week.